everybody. So in this video I'm going to talk about something I feel should give you hope. It does give me hope, so I hope that it will give you hope. So understanding your past life, your present, and your future lives. Now I know that you are still trying to get comfortable with the whole idea of reincarnation, and a whole lot of people reject this outright, but that's okay. Hopefully time is a friend to truth, is what I believe, and so time will validate the truth tellers. Now when you look at your life, okay, so let me back up a little bit. This is going to be a long video, I'm sorry. Let me back up a little bit. So when you the way the universe, I'm no scientist now, so I'm explaining this to you in the best way I understand it. The way the universe goes, you can see the micro, and from the micro you can extrapolate the micro to the macro. Okay, so you can extrapolate the small to the big, because the small is a tiny reflection of the big. Okay, so like if you want to understand the chemical constitution of seawater, of any particular seawater, you don't have to test the entire seawater. You can take a small portion of that seawater, and when you test the small portion of the seawater, whatever you see in the tiny portion of the seawater, you can extrapolate to the large part. Okay, so like if you want to understand the human life, look at other lives around. Okay, look at dogs, for instance, how they die. Okay, and if you look at animals, they're not scared of dying, because somehow they know that death is not the end. So you don't see them freaking over, you know, oh, I'm about to. You don't see that. You just see them wanting comfort at the end, wanting to be surrounded by people they love, or people they loved. That's what you see, because once they leave that body, if you are able to see past the physical, you will see that they're still around. They don't go. And if they were loved, they hang around the place where they were loved until maybe they come back in a different dog body. How do you know they're back? Look in the eyes, you will see that there's recognition there. But anyway, I digress. If you look at the trees, you know, in the fall, the leaves fall into the ground. They don't dissipate, they don't die. They just go into the earth, right? You know, they go into the earth and they give nutrients to the earth, and then they come back up in spring, right? So those tiny aspects of living, of life, you can use to understand all the species, because no energy is never dissipated, energy is never lost, never. Like if you put water on fire, what happens to water? It boils, and when the water is boiling, it changes the composition of water, turns it into steam, and the steam escapes. But it's not like the water is disappearing, it has changed composition, which now makes it lighter than air, because before it was heavier than air. Now it's lighter than air and is able to escape into the environment as vapor. But it's not disappearing. So once it gets to that environment, something else is going to happen to it at some point. Just like the clouds, they become heavier than air, and they have to drop down as rain. The whole cycle starts all over. That's how when it rains, all that water becomes vaporized, because the heat makes it change the composition, and it vaporizes, right? And goes back into clouds, and the cycle repeats itself all over again. So when you look at your life as a whole, you got to understand your present today is the result of yesterday, and tomorrow is going to be a result of today. So your past life, your life right now is the result of your past life, and your future life is going to be a result of your present life. So, you know, before, when I started this journey, you know, they bring up pictures of some of the celebrities that we have. I mean, there's a lot going on. I'm not even going to talk about it. There's a lot going on. But the pictures of some of the celebrities that they took in the 1800s, and they said they look alike, there's a reason for that. Because it's the same, the earth, this cosmos functions off of that whole reincarnation process. But anyway, that's not why I'm making this video. So your life today is a product of your past life. Now, so if you look at your natal chart, right, you will see that you had an ascendant in the past life. How do you know what your past life ascendant was? What is in your 12th house? What sign is in your 12th house? Whatever sign is in your 12th house, it was a sign of your ascendant in your past life. So the whole idea is that the creator, the primordial intelligence, God, created us all. And the goal of God creating us all was for all of us to willingly develop ourselves, to embody and to reflect that the Creator. But we start out on our way. So the Creator made us, and yet somehow denied us knowledge of the Maker. And that was done on purpose, so that the individual can then willingly choose to seek after their Maker. And in doing that, you are, how will I say, you develop characteristics that are very reflective of the Maker, of the primordial intelligence, and of what the design of the human is to be. So when you look at your past life, let's say you had a Libra rising in the past. Now the goal of having that pervasive energy is that you're going to look at life from the perspective of seeking the most beautiful, of seeking balance, of seeking order, of seeking harmony in life, which is why you have that Libra ascendant. But if you notice, you also have different signs in different houses. Now, I personally believe, now I could be wrong about this, but I personally believe that your personal planet and where they're located stays the same, period, across lifetimes, stays the same. Because that is the unique configuration of the Maker that you are. So those don't change. What changes every lifetime is the rising sign, which you can tell by the progression of your signs where you are. What really changes a lot and changes the person every life is the outer planets. Right now we have 4 of them: Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So how those are placed, because those are more Saturnian, they are more linked to the cosmos than your personal planets. So your Saturn or Neptune, all of them, they are more linked to the cosmos than your personal. So they are more linked to the primordial intelligence than your Mars or your Venus. Those are you. So every lifetime, you are to take the rising sign and develop the most, I won't use the word divine, the most perfect representation of that rising sign. And then, of course, as it's reflected in all the different signs in your 12th house. Because your next life, that rising sign now moves into your 12th, and then whatever was in your first, and then whatever was in your second goes back. So let's say you were a Virgo in your past life, and you did a good job as a Virgo. Now that you're in Libra, right? You understand people. You understand relationship. Where did you learn that? You learn that from Virgo. Because Virgo is right after Leo, right? Leo is where your personality develops, right? And so Virgo, when you get into Virgo, your Virgo is a reflection of Leo. Virgo is when you understand that people are different from you and it's okay. The reason why most Virgo people have problem with others is that Virgo people think that they know it all, their way is the only way, your way is not right because my way is best. That's a dysfunctional pattern, because that's not what will do well once you get into Libra. And another function of Virgo will be for the Virgo to test out what they believe to be true. And in the testing out of what they believe to be true or not true, they decide, okay, this is not true, I can change that and adopt a different belief system. So when they are born with a Virgo rising, if they master that in this life, when they go into the next life, when they have a Libra rising, they're able to relate better with people while maintaining the integrity of who they are. Because a lot of Libras struggle and lose themselves in other people because they did not develop that core sense of self in Virgo when they had a Virgo rising. And the Virgo rising did not develop that core sense of self because they had a dysfunctional Leo rising. You see how all that works? So now, I'm sorry, this is a long video, but I gotta get all this out. So now, if you have a sun or a moon that is far from your north node, people have a different understanding, a faulty understanding of north and south. If you have a sun and moon that is far removed by a sign or two signs from your Virgo or from your north node, I say Virgo because I have a north node in Virgo. That means that when you were a Virgo rising, for me, when I was a Virgo rising, I did not learn how to utilize that energy properly. So now I'm revisiting that energy as my north node. Because I have a sun in Libra and moon in Scorpio. I'm revisiting Virgo in my north node, because now that I've gone through, Libra rising and now Scorpio rising, I can now have a higher understanding of that Virgo energy. So I can do a better job at it than I did in the last time. So my point in this long video is this. Your life does not end with this life. Don't believe that shit they told you. That's a lie. Don't believe that shit. You are coming back again. But the goal is to come back conscious, to be careful and mindful of how you utilize the energies and the time given to you in this life, because it matters in the next. Don't be afraid of dying. That's the list of your worries. Because you're not going to die. You're going to remove, your energy is going to leave the body. But everybody that you knew this time, if you're not careful, you're going to drag them all back next time. Your mother is still going to be your mother. Not your mother, rather. But you're still going to be part of that life the next time. But depending on how your relationship with her and your awareness of what the relationship truly means and how you dealt with that relationship will reflect what the relationship with her in the next life is going to be. So everything is a continuum. I saw this thing, Matthew McConaughey was talking about one of his colleagues that had died. Someone had met him on the red carpet and told him that the guy had died, and he was shocked because he didn't know about it. And he said things that I thought were interesting. He asked the journalist, "Oh man, that particular person has moved on? Damn." And then he looks in the camera and he says to the person, "See you in the next one." And I thought, this motherfucker knows. A lot of people know. They know this. Why you think that is all? The celebrities are accumulating power and wealth and all of that, because that's, again, God gives us free will and choice. So every lifetime you can move closer to God or you can move further away from God. Every life. You just how it works. So that's why I was saying that you have to decide with each life which direction you want to take your energy towards. But if you do not pay close attention to your astrological chart and learn what you need to learn in this life and utilize the time that you are given here to learn what you need to learn to reflect the maker more and to come into a state of more awareness of yourself, you're going to be born in the next life more unconscious and more backward and further away from the maker. Does that make sense? So this should give you hope that, okay, well, it gives me hope. I don't know about a bunch of people. That, that my life has meaning, and my life has purpose. The purpose is not some special task. No. The purpose is just for me, self-awareness, growing in self-knowledge, understanding, and being free of the worries about what is going on, because I know that what is going on is simply part of the script of the play that I'm in right now. Does that make sense? Comment, share your opinions if you have any, and I'm sorry that this was long. Okay, bye.